This is Little Mean Kathleen, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing the latest, hottest independent wrestlers every Wednesday on a YouTube and Castbox. I am your host, James J., with the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
Man, it's a Snoop Dogg wine kind of night because usually most wines are like 8 proof. Snoop is like 14. He's trying to get people DUIs. So I'll try my best to accept this challenge.
The American Scooter Dust.
My hole.
I think you might be a week late on that.
He'll take it.
Well, my hole is weak.
And joining us, our very special guest. He don't have a last name. He's just Drew.
Yeah. It's me, your boy Drew, from the frozen tundra known as Canada. And no, I do not live in an igloo. And I'm not second cousin to Bret the Hitman Hart.
I think you might be
TJ?
the only person not related to Bret Hart.
TJ, it's a Canadian from Canada.
He sure is.
Yes, I am. I have the passport to prove it.
Is there a question you might want to be asking him, Scooter?
About poutine?
Probably.
If you're asking if it's overrated or underrated, I'm going heavily overrated. It's heavily overrated.
We're enemies now.
Well, I'm from Toronto. Poutine is more of a Montreal, Quebec thing.
It's more Canadian.
Yes. So, Toronto and Montreal, we have a lot of heat towards each other. We don't really like each other.
Yeah. Especially
Toronto.
with Drake. Drake just Toronto Central. So he like
Yes.
That's the ultimate pull card. Like,
Yes, it is.
And
we got Drake, bitch.
And we're getting our paddles out to initiate Drew properly into the Wrestling with Entertainment family.
All right.
Um,
Just don't
As
go
a black
for my
guy in
whole...
his Black History Month, I will give a pass. You brother.
All right.
Black on black crime is like usually like negated this month.
Yeah, exactly.
We were going to go see a Broadway show. These were ticket paddles.
Oh hell, okay then.
Okay.
He seems like a Hamilton guy though, so that's all.
Wow. I'm close to Hamilton. I'm would say Mississauga. That's where I'm from. I'm from Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Yes.
Man.
and
Home of Santino Marella.
hey, that's a name you don't hear too often nowadays.
No.
And it is a great day for wrestling. Last week on our Wednesday show, we had Little Mean Kathleen on. And already that has been our highest viewed interview in a single day. So big props to Kathleen. I think that was a really fun interview to do. And, she might be on the show sooner rather than later again.
Mm-hmm.
Next up,
Let us hope so. Let's hope so. She was a pleasure.
she's the muscle of Squunchy Squad if you follow me on Twitter. We have coming up actually later today, Sean Phoenix. Part 1 of our 38 parts mini-series of Season 1. Season 2 next year.
Our Ken Burns style interview.
But in all seriousness, this is a fantastic interview. You do not want to miss part 1. And it's also on Sean's birthday, so happy birthday, Sean.
Yes.
And
One of his 2 birthdays.
yes. And he might be celebrating this birthday a little later on with some tag team gold. So check that out.
Mm.
And of course, this upcoming Wednesday, part 2 of that interview, same time, same place. And you get the 10 questions of doom, the 8 questions of doom. So, and I know that's what everybody wants to hear. So you get that on Wednesday. Coming up on March 3rd, we have Nevaeh Chantel. And that was a true pleasure. That was a great interview that we did. Now,
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We say, we you'll hear us say that all of our interviews are great pleasures, and you might think that we're repeating ourselves or tooting our own horns, but no, we're being serious because there's literally no other way to describe these interviews because every time we sit down with a talent, it ends up being so much more than an interview. It's really a conversation between essentially wrestling fans at heart.
I couldn't have said it better
Also, why she prefers Remy Ma. So that she's Remy Ma stan. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what you expect from Jersey.
And on getting my days mixed up here, we have on the 10th, Braden Lee. So looking forward to that one as well. Uh, as always, you could see who we have coming up, what we've done on our official Twitter page with Wrestling with E. Um, Now, usually we go into news, but there has been so much wrestling this week, we have to go right into our reviews. So we are wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Beginning in Hiroshima. And night one was quite interesting, and I feel like we need to talk about this match just to kind of talk about it. Master Waddle lost to Bushi in 11 minutes and 8 seconds with the MX. Kaliko, Grandmaster Waddle, it seems like he hasn't gotten out of the starting gates since coming to New Japan, no?
No, but then again, like New Japan, you earn your stripes. I mean, look at Juice Robinson. Like usually anybody that comes in, they like unless they were there in the beginning and then left on their excursion and came back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, the first time is always going to be hell. Hell, Naito's first time was hell, and he was actually winning matches. So
Mm-hmm.
it took him to like leave and join with a bunch of essays and come back a whole new dude. So I mean, it happens.
What about you,
You ever
Drew?
play?
Huh?
I was about to say, you ever play Fire Pro Wrestling World? It takes forever before you get into the actual New Japan part of the game. You gotta earn your way there. So if it's that hard in a video game, it's a million times tougher in real life.
Especially in Japan, because like shit, there's hierarchy there. Ain't no rocket pushes. Shit.
No, there isn't. There isn't a rocket push in New Japan. You have to earn your stripes, even if you're a young boy, a guy coming back from excursion, even an established star. Even if your stardom has gone down a little bit, even if you've gone to North America and come back, you still have to earn your stripes in New Japan. And I think with Grandmaster, he's there to fill a spot, but it's maybe a little difficult for him to get over. Plus, you're not you're touring more in Japan than you would here with all the COVID stuff, but I think give him some time. Same with Evil. When Evil left and came back, it was the same thing. And then he was the champion last year.
Well, that's what I wanted to kind of go with. Master Waddle, is this kind of, his first major loss was to Katamaru at Jinku Stadium. So is this kind of we were going to put you over, but now we're kind of having second thoughts type thing, or do you think that they're kind of trying to build him by giving him these losses, in a sense? Drew?
I think it's a I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. I think the losses you can gain momentum with losses the same way you can lose momentum with wins, because sometimes you're too over with the crowd and they're trying to job you out to be more believable in the long run. So are you believable to go and challenge for the IWGP Intercontinental belt or the US belt when John Moxley decides to free that thing up? You know, so it's a bit of both. It's like we're trying to keep you in mind's eye and give you a mini push, but we're not going to put the rocket towards you and push you to the moon right as yet. So we have to give you some of these losses to make you look a little bit more believable to the crowd going forward.
No? And our next match, Tamatonga Tangaloa successfully defended the IWGP Tag Team Championships against Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi in 29 minutes and 8 seconds, but via disqualification. Kaliko, there has been an abundance of disqualification, no starts, no finish matches as of recently in New Japan. This is really different for them, right?
It's it it's different in a sense because Japan in itself is kind of, as a nation, is kind of get busy because the Olympics. You forget Olympics was supposed to be last year. It's this year, so I wouldn't be surprised with New Japan. Usually they take their shit very serious, so they want their champions looking like, yo, because like I always told you, Japan takes wrestling a whole lot more serious than we do. Like we take
Yes.
this shit as comics, and they take it more as a martial art type of form. So I wouldn't be surprised with matches like a couple of them, especially here in the beginning, starting out that way. Because I think once the summer hits, and hopefully if they get more people into the country for the Olympics, I think they're gonna just have their champions run like lawnmower and everybody. Well, everybody except one person. And it showed because one person lost the belt the first night and they put it on their big boy, which we'll get to.
And it seemed like this was more about the on fingers rather than the championships. Tamatonga seemed a little bit more off than he usually is. And then Taichi reclaimed the on fingers and kind of went off himself. Scooter, does the on fingers of Iska have magical powers that drive people insane?
I mean, you can probably equate them to the same level of mist. Um,
The Muda Mist.
I mean, different color mists were supposed to have different effects. The traditional green was just supposed to be blinding. If it was red, it was burning. If it was black, it was possession. Um, if it was, yeah, I can't remember if it was blue, it was hypnotism. I can't remember the others though. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing, the jade fingers, or the diamond fingers.
Interesting. Our
Yeah,
next,
just a little,
yeah. Next match, Hiromu Takahashi defeated Sho in 35 minutes and 38 seconds with Time Bomb 2. What I really want to talk about is Sho. This last year has been kind of a coming out party for him, in the sense of there was nobody kind of holding him back, for the lack of a better term. Drew, what do you think? Can Sho go back to a Punky 3K and be that, or has he far surpassed what he was?
I think he is well surpassed what he was. I think we'll probably get to it down the line, but it's how I feel about certain guys that are on the mid card in the WWE or in NXT that their sell by date, they've passed it. And I think Sho has shown he doesn't need to be in a tag team anymore. He doesn't even need to be in a junior. He is a type of a guy over this calendar year that has consistently put on great matches and has shown that he needs to be pushed into that next stratosphere. Because to be honest with you, with New Japan, I love everything that they do, but they are pigeonholing themselves with the same 4 or 5 or 6 guys that are on top all the time. How many times has Tanahashi been on top, and Naito and Okada? And those guys are great, but you have to build the next set of guys that are coming up that fans can be like, okay, I can get behind a Sho. I can get behind a Zack Sabre Jr. I can get behind a Jay White. The believability. That's the main important thing that New Japan does very well. Believability. So Sho should not go back to Roppongi whatsoever. He needs to move even away from being a junior heavyweight and go into that heavyweight picture. And the sky's the limit for that kid.
What say you, Kaliko?
He's gonna be the Shawn Michaels, and Yo's gonna be the Marty Jannetty. Man, I feel bad. I feel bad. But I mean, when you look at the lightweight division, it's really thin. Like it's him and Sho, and then Bushi is his so-so, and El Desperado and Phantasmo. You got a couple of people, but I feel like the time bomb is eventually going to move up because he done ran through everybody in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I think once Naito just figure out what he's going to do, because I feel like he ain't got that many years left. So I feel like Takahashi's going to be the new face of the LIJ crew, because he is, like I told you, you could make an argument he's the most popular dude in the damn company.
Oh yeah.
If not the second. So
yes,
it's there for him to springboard himself into that upper echelon, because he's already kind of a star. Plus, I follow him on YouTube. That nigga he crazy, but the potential's already there. It's just a matter of whether he's gonna if he's gonna leave the division or keep it on the map. So,
Anything you want to add, Scooter?
There was also a 10-man tag between Chaos and Bullet Club, and a tag team match between LIJ and Kota and Hanma as well. And you brought up an interesting point. Those guys that are on top all the time, they were, relegated to the start of the card and the middle of the card, essentially for this night, because with White, Evil, and Okada in the 10-man tag, and Sonata and Naito and Ibushi in the tag match. Yes, understandably, to build for the following night. Still, though, I don't think those matches should be overlooked, but you is correct. The New Japan, and I'm not sure if this is related to the pandemic or not. The fact that New Japan might be afraid of trying to put everything on someone new when the future of the business is not exactly guaranteed anymore. So they
Right.
might want to stay the course with Ibushi, with Naito, with Okada, with White, and whatnot. So they're probably going to push one person, and we'll probably see really only one person get a real push until if the world ever goes back to normal.
I really think that that's something that we're going to see. We're going to get a lot more clarity is when they do the New Japan Cup next month. So that's kind of what is going to be a hard moment and see where we're going for the rest of the year. I think anyway. On night two, uh, we have the Neville Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Championship match. Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto, and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jay White in 27 minutes and 1 second. This was maybe the longest six-man Neville Openweight Championship match they've ever done. And Jay White is on the losing end of it again. Kaliko, is this like a no-win situation for Jay White?
Pretty much. I mean, it was a waste of all that time and that buzz on his way out, and all of a sudden, gone. Just like that. I feel bad for him, man. I feel bad for any gaijin that makes it to the top. Because they know they can only get so far. And that glass is...
It's not gonna break.
It ain't breaking. Kenny broke it. Kenny
broke
broke it, but he like put a crack in it. And that ain't broke it.
Oh, I'm surprised any gaijin that gets to that level, like a Jay White, which I've said. I was talking to James earlier this week. I said this is a guy that you can put the rocket on if you are trying to get over in the United States. He's good looking. He can talk. He's in one of the biggest factions known around the world, the Bullet Club. Why wouldn't you pull the trigger? And then you put him in a six-man tag and you job him. I'm not expecting them to not put over their guys, but my problem is the match was great. I enjoyed the match. That's not the issue. The problem I have is that, like I said, it's time you got to move around the deck chairs a little bit in New Japan. You have to move around the deck chairs. You got a lot of guys there, and now with this, I will talk about it, I guess, later on, with this forbidden door open. So there's a possibility for us over here in North America to get to know these guys, and you put a guy like Jay White in a six-man tag match after he cuts an amazing promo after losing at Wrestle Kingdom Night 2, saying he's done. I don't know why I'm here anymore. That tells the story. But maybe if I put my booking cap on, maybe this whole thing with him losing is Jay White's redemption to lead him back to Wrestle Kingdom in 2022 to become God. I don't know. It kind of seems that way, but like you were saying earlier,
That's a good point.
We don't know how the world looks going forward because of COVID-19.
I do kind of agree with that because New Japan loves to do those callbacks.
Yes.
But it's a hell of a... Because kind of like last year when... what the fuck is his name? Like last year when Ibushi fucking lost and he ended up with tag titles and then he finessed that to a championship.
Yeah.
But I always felt like there was going to be an issue between Jay White and Evil because Jay White's trying to get somewhere where evil already's been. And that's where I feel like it's a bigger issue. And I feel like that's where a dam is going to crack. But who knows? We'll see. Unless they just leaving evil as like wandering into no man's land after becoming the second person to hold those belts, which is total bullshit. But that's a whole nother story.
And what about the six-man never openweight championships getting the nod here? I don't think they've ever been second to the last match ever in a New Japan show. Even I think even the guys that hold the championships kind of forget that they hold the never six-man tag team titles. Scooter.
Yoshi does not forget that he holds that belt. Fuck you talk about.
Yoshi loves that thing. Like that's his baby, man. That's his fucking baby. Like he's not letting that go.
And Kaliko, what do we think of Yoshihashi?
Fuck Yoshihashi. I mean, that's the most shine he's got. Like, other than upsetting Kenny Omega, that's his biggest like shine in life.
So, Scooter, do you think that this might be the upswing for the six-man tag team championships? Maybe we'll see a little bit more of them, or do you think they're just going to go back into obscurity?
They're going to go back into obscurity. I mean, a six-person title, whatever it is, quite honestly, it never really, it's there for the rest of the roster to have something to do.
Just put a belt on them.
Yeah, basically.
It's the 24/7 championship of New Japan. Just, per se.
Yeah.
Alright. Our main event, Kota Ibushi defeated Sanada for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Double Championship in 27 minutes and 51 seconds with Kamagoye. Honestly, the match fell below my expectations. I don't know why. It never felt like Sanada was ever a threat to Kota Ibushi. It seemed like he never had that definitive, I might actually win this match moment. And it doesn't seem like a big thing. Like, oh, they win 27 minutes. Yeah, they win 27 minutes. But it kind of seemed like they didn't go 27 minutes. Or not what should have happened in that 27 minutes. I just might be a little bit overcritical of this, but Kaliko, you might be a little bit more.
Yeah, because I told you they set that boy up to slaughter, Nick. Man, they do Sonata so dirty, man. That's like 3 years in a row, bro. Like, oh, you could win the New Japan Cup. Oh no, Okada, run your ass over. Oh, you could win the G1. Oh no, Ibushi, run your ass over. Oh, you could win this title. Nope. Ibushi winning your ass over again. It's like bridesmaid bride thing. It's like, yo, he could get married. That don't mean he's gonna get married. It's fucking wrapped with that. And you know how much I love Sonata. Sonata to me is like, just, he could be that dude. Yeah, but New Japan is like, fuck that dude.
That's like saying, yeah, everybody could be parents, not everybody should be parents.
Should be parents, yeah.
Man, they putting Sonata for the streets. I just know that much. But I ain't giving up on my boy. He'll get there. He'll crack it. The only
start an adopt Sonata fund.
I might, but the only saving grace is because fucking he's the runner-up in the G1, and usually, like, the runner-up comes back and win the bitch. So that'll at least give me some kind of saving fucking grace.
Yeah.
But God knows who the fuck he's going to wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom if he wins, because depending on who the dude is,
he'll probably
fam.
He'll probably actually win an actual bitch instead of win a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, he might win the actual female dog. You got that damn right. You can come get my bitch or my babysitting bitch. There you go.
Or it's a chance to turn that around.
I don't think that's technically yours to give away, Kaliko.
I mean, I can.
Have you seen?
I just have to
do it
deal
all
with
the
the
time.
consequences.
What say you, Drew? This match, Sonata, Kota Ibushi, what's your thoughts on it all overall?
Okay. I was like you, James, down on the match. And another thing with New Japan, please can you stop making these matches like 48 hours long? That's another thing. We don't need 35, 40-minute main events. You don't need it. Sometimes 15 minutes is good. Get them in and get them out. At points, Sonata looked disinterested, like he knew that I ain't winning this motherfucker. I'm never going to be looked at as a top guy in New Japan. So I'm just going through the motions. I'll just take the spots here, take the spots there. I know he's gonna hit this. I know he's gonna hit that. Then we wrap it up and go to the finish, and that's what it looked like. So it was, to me, 27 minutes too long. That's why maybe it didn't feel like it was 27 minutes, but it was 27 minutes too long because Sonata looked disinterested and had that look like, I know I'm not going to win this. And I know I'm going to go into the G1 and put on amazing matches, and people will put me up for match of the year at the G1 and this, that, and the third, but I will never get the brass ring. And I think that's what I've been saying to you guys throughout this chat, Raven, is that New Japan needs to shuffle the deck chairs. Sonata, like my boy was saying, is one of those guys you could put on top. We don't need to see him get to the pinnacle and get run through by Nabushi. Naito runs through him. Then Okada runs through him. Maybe let's look at him and say, maybe we can use this guy as an upper echelon guy going forward. But we all know he lost last year. Maybe he wins the G1, but who does he face at Wrestle Kingdom? With all the crossover stuff that's going on, who knows what Wrestle Kingdom next year is going to even look like?
Good point. And I see that point. And the only reason that I could see your point of him being disinterested. Think about it. Like, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, where he's been. It'd be one thing if it was like his first shot or taste of the good life, but he's been there like 3 years in a row. So it gets him to the point where he like, I know I can do it.
Like
Y'all
we said,
motherfuckers ain't
always
pulling
the
the trigger.
bridesmaid, never the bride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's that single female where all her friends getting married and she just looking like
27
what
dresses.
the fuck? Hell yeah, shit, man. Like, I feel bad for him. Might start a GoFundMe.
The next thing after the match, Naito came out and challenged Kota Ibushi for only the Intercontinental Championship. To me, that felt like a very Naito thing to do. I'm not gonna challenge for the IWGP because I lost, but I can challenge for the Intercontinental because I don't want you to unify the two belts. Scooter, what are your thoughts on Naito challenging for one of the double championships and being the only person to actually do it?
I honestly think this is probably what should have been done from the beginning.
It's what he wanted to do for sure.
I mean, they shouldn't have been a double. They shouldn't have been double title matches. They should have been two separate title matches.
Right.
I mean, why do it to begin with if you're just going to put both titles on the line at and I think it's smart, quite honestly. Finally, like, maybe this can lead to the belt coming off Bushi, and we can finally get some semblance of a secondary main event.
Right. Because we lost the United States Championship. John Moxley.
Let's not even go with John. Fuck John.
Yeah,
At this
no,
point, he's held
come-
the U.S. title is basically on a milk carton. But
Yeah, it's missing. It's missing.
Like,
It needs an AP.
have you seen me?
Come on, man.
And the only reason I felt like what they should have did was when Naito won it the first fucking time, they should have did what NXT did to Keith Lee and was like, you can't have both of them bitches. Pick
Exactly.
one or the other. And then that way you're not stuck in a situation where Naito, oh, if I could beat you for the IC title, I damn sure could beat you for the heavyweight. So why the fuck would I? You know what I mean? So it set that awkward moment up. But they should have did that. But you can go back to your little John Moxley.
No, but
Shit.
what I was alluding to was Scooter was saying a secondary title, and I was saying that was the United States Championship, but it went missing because John Moxley was there.
No. The U.S. title was supposed to be IWGP's version of you're the heavyweight champ, you're the man in the U.S. That's basically what it was for.
Yeah,
it was the ease Kenny Omega's
ego.
frustrations for the simple fact that he was basically him and the Bullet Club in a sense were kind of getting a global reach. And they're like, oh yeah, let's have this U.S. tournament in Long Beach and let's ease it over. And it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Well, we're coming up on his match against Kenta, and it's next week, I believe. This Friday. So who wins? John Moxley or Kenta? Kaliko.
At this point, I want Canada to win just so they could have a fucking story. Because I felt like Juice should have had it last year, but it's weird to me how New Japan treats that belt. Because if it was anybody else, like Roppongi 3K had to give up their belts because one person got injured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they that's the only thing I hate about New Japan. They don't enforce their own rules. Like it's like, especially when it comes to the U.S. title.
Right.
And I guess they're just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
They did strip Moxley once of the belt.
Yeah, which leads you to believe if even in this case it should have been done again.
Yeah.
Like,
but they didn't
Moxley,
do it.
who's to say Moxley couldn't get a shot when everything comes over? Keep in mind too, Moxley was in that awkward situation up until now where he really couldn't do anything with New Japan because of his AEW contract, but now since they're treating it like the Marvel Comics universe, so I mean, now all bets are off. But that wasn't the script a year ago.
No.
Drew, who wins? Kenta or Moxley?
Nobody. Nobody. It ends in a draw, and then the title is vacant. And it could retire itself because the title didn't do a damn thing to elevate anybody since it's been in existence. Some guy's been walking around with it, wasn't able to show it on TV until Kenta showed up on AEW. So I don't even care who wins. It doesn't even matter who wins. It's, to me, it ends in a draw. You vacate the title, and the guys in Japan can fight over it. Or you just award the belt to Kenta because Kenta has been defending that damn briefcase as the championship. That's what's been going on. Kenta's been defending a briefcase to say, I have a shot at this belt and I can't get to the guy. A better story could have been that John Moxley is using the pandemic to dodge Kenta. That's what should have happened. And then Kenta should have been the guy that took out John Moxley before his title match at AEW. And Kenta could have said, you are taking New Japan stuff too lightly. You're all about AEW. It's just so many different things you could have done. It just now, I don't even care. Like, oh, the match is coming. It's so important. It's bullshit now. The steam is off of it. Nobody cares anymore. If Kenta wins the belt, is he gonna be able to come back to Japan and defend it? Who knows, right? We're in a pandemic still, so we don't know the rules. We know he's in Tampa, so he can go from Tampa to Jacksonville. That's not a hard drive. That's like going from Mississauga to Brampton. But it just I don't care. Like, that's how I feel about it. I don't care about Jon Moxley. I think he's a garbage wrestler. That's why they throw him in these crazy CZW style matches. It's
Whoa.
like
Whoa.
I don't like the guy. I didn't like him as Dean Ambrose. I didn't think he was over as Dean Ambrose. I definitely don't like him now. When he first came to AEW, okay, yeah, cool. But now it's like, yeah, you just do the same shit over and over again. And I'm just tired of it. So Kenta can win the belt and do something with it in New Japan. Great. Nobody wins the belt. Great. Doesn't really matter to me.
It does
Damn.
says a lot when the briefcase was more popular than the damn
The
thing.
briefcase than the damn belt.
Okay,
But you know
so,
what killed it for me? I felt like Juice Robinson had a better
Yes.
because what I thought was going to happen before the pandemic was Ambrose was going to use his platform to make Juice. You know how like Cody did with Juice?
Yes.
I thought it was going to be the inverse of that, like the same way
Yes.
or the same thing. Just get Juice to be more popular because at the end of the day, he's probably like the biggest American face they got.
Yes.
So I thought that was going to be the case, but then when they threw Juice down the back burner, I was like,
Spiro, Kenta, or Moxley, who wins?
Um. Oh God. Kenta, so can take the belt back and you can be done with this discussion of of longest title reign ever. And by the way, there should be an asterisk in record books if they ever count this reign.
I think you're right about that. And we will see what happens then. Until then, we will conclude our coverage of New Japan New Beginning tour and Hiroshima.